Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This Friday, the 4th of April 2014, here we are to discuss about, first of all, the state of the shipping markets. Importantly, we will report on other issues which will affect further the shipping industry and the markets. The Baltic Dry Index was down 30 points since yesterday, at 1,205, which is an overall of 170 points since last week, 1,375 points. We have warned you on the 1st of April with our first midweekish warning. We never came up on a midweek to advise you the market is coming down. The BDI is down now 1,022 points since last December's closing of 2,227 points. This is nearly 45.5%. The gap is widening, and what we have experienced in January, February and March, the volatility which was governed by the Cape-size vessels, that also created a further problem in the market. The Cape-size overall was down 37 points from yesterday to 2,306. That's 271 points down from last week's 2,577 points. And again, the size which dominates for ourselves the market here, and we believe in this size, the Panamax with the BDI index, again for a second week is below the level of 1,000 points, and we have it at 822 points. Still far below the 1,000 point mark. The BSI down as well at 1,003 points. It's about to break again here the barrier of the 1,000 points. The BHSI further down at 598 points. Now, this is not a nice situation. All the dry cargoes are down, and the overall counts a lot. The wets too, they were down, with the Baltic Dirty Tanker Index down at 709 from last week, down to this today at 688 points. And the BCTI down as well at 598, 4 downs points yesterday. Now, you heard the above, what we said, and I'm sure you have listened to the press and read also, you listen to the television, and there's confidence in the shipping industry. There is confidence in the shipping industry, but what do we mean with this? Of course there is confidence. We have to feed 7 billion people. And it's not only the overcapacity that has put the markets down. There are many more other issues. Now, the press that gets involved in inviting people to speak about the markets bear a very big responsibility, as everybody has his long and short to say about the market. I'm sorry. And again, this is not an arrogancy behavior nor a cynicism, is the reality. Firstly, we will begin with piracy, and the European Commissioner for Shipping Affairs and Fisheries, Maria Damanaki, was on big meetings and discussions about the piracy which affect greatly Africa and in particular Somalia. She believes that if people work together and there is a defense on the issue of fisheries, things will get better. She was meeting Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, the president of Somalia, to discuss these issues. These are very important issues, and I think there should be a willingness to sort this out. Delaying the problem with many other excuses, it is too much. And again, the fisheries is an important issue, and the ships backed by powerful governments who go and destroy the fishing lots down in Somalia bear a very big responsibility. Imagine if they come over here. Remember the tugboat wars and the torpedo war boats between Spanish, English, American, Canadians, French, you name it, Portuguese in the Atlantic. So let's be serious on what is going on. So that's another issue. Another geopolitical issue, which we have covered many times, the issue of Ukraine, and in particular the sort of annexation in Crimea gets even worse in our view. The business sector here is getting some nasty news. There are not anymore, as we've heard, McDonald's in Crimea. And some nationalists in Russia too, they want McDonald's to shut down, in particular Vladimir Zhirinovsky, the nationalist, which we remember very well his ideology on this issue. This is not nice. He even wants Coca-Cola to go away. Now, I guess that there has never ever been an end of the Cold War. Okay? It has just been a continuation. People had a hope. There was an advancement in Europe. Yes, that was needed. But I think that we should not thatch our eggs before, count our eggs before they're hatched. So we have to be very, very careful. The Malaysian airplane saga continues to make really waves now, particularly as ROVs and other equipment that we use at the sea, for the seabeds and other excursions in 6699 are there from Australia based and other nations to go and see what has happened. But of course the time for the black box is over. Again, it is very serious, and of course something sinister, according to a survey we did, is going on. It could have been an accident, but until we know, we are very skeptical of what has happened, and we have expressed this even in writing. Our next reporting will come from the Far East, where we will begin next week. We'll be there towards the middle of Singapore Maritime Week and many other events in the Far East, an up-and-coming area there that controls as a center, a big hub, many interests of shipping, and is an important shipping center too. The I4U, which we have reported to you that was going to happen over the weekend in Athens, was a great success. On a Saturday, a full house, listened to the powerful Greek women and WISTA members explaining to young women and newcomers in the industry what they have to do and how important our industry is. Mentorship at its best. It was a great event, and we hope these events they continue. Women again. We have to tell you that it just ended in Malmö, Sweden. The maritime women there, they were there with Global Leadership International Conference, was an unprecedented gathering. And of course, this must go down nicely to see all these women there, 265 participants, both male and female, representing 74 countries. They came together to focus on gender equality and capacity in building for the maritime sector. That was very, very important in the World Maritime University. WISTA UK now, with Maria Dixon and her team, are getting geared for the 40th anniversary of WISTA UK, and of course WISTA began in this country over here in the UK. Lastly, on a nicely note, we have talked many times about ship power. Good news from Greece again, it's shipping industry. Today, the Greek Shipping Cooperation Committee revealed the results and the figures for 2014, until March, and the figures are very impressive. It's very important to know. A great note here, simply note, the rest you can see on the site. The Greeks have today 3,901 ships, up from 2,487 since 1988, and nearly 300 million, let's be precise, 290,847,132 million tons of deadweight. That's a very impressive figure, and this is way up from the 85 million deadweight back in 1988. Impressive results despite what happens around the world and of course what happens in Greece. We wish you a happy weekend. Be on guard of what is going on both in the markets and geopolitically, and we can assure you that those who knows the best remedies with their risk assessment in force, they will go ahead. Be careful about the markets. Catastrophe is a word with many versions and can happen at any time. Thank you for listening, and log on to read the best free news you have ever read in your life from allaboutshipping.co.uk. This is John FARACLAS. Have a nice weekend again. Bye-bye.